June 21st, Father's Day, 2020. Garden tour. In the front yard, the beefsteak tomatoes have grown so much. A lot of blooms. So we should be getting some baby tomatoes here before too long. Really happy with that. The pruning is still holding. Basil, picked a lot of him yesterday. The zucchini, also massive. What I've noticed, we've got some baby zucchinis here, but what I've noticed is that the male flowers are falling off. So I have to keep an eye on these zucchinis to make sure that they're going to actually grow, because the flowers aren't open yet, so I'm not sure how they're supposed to be pollinated unless I get another male flower to open. There's a male flower. Hopefully he'll open soon so I can pollinate. If I have to, I can do that. Pollinate these female. So the zucchini will grow. There's another basil. Picked some of him yesterday. The puny pepper plant from last week is still, he's still puny. The other beefsteak tomato, doing great. Yesterday in this tiny little bed, I put some okra. I put 4. Sadly, that one didn't make it. That's okay. We don't ordinarily eat okra. I'm basically growing these as an experiment. Okra plants are really pretty. The flowers are really pretty. I'll find something to do with them. I mean, I'm not gonna just throw them away, but 3 okra. Last week I couldn't include the herb garden because for some reason the file wouldn't transfer properly, and I couldn't get it to come into the film. But anyway, here it is this week. Hopefully the file will remain intact so that I can include it. Parsley, yet more basil, marigolds, curly parsley, lemon, cilantro. That is pretty much done. He's gonna turn into coriander. Then we have dill. I keep kind of looking around to see if I get any swallowtail caterpillars in here, but I haven't seen any yet. More flat leaf parsley, a jalapeno, and way back there, down there at the bottom, is oregano. All right, this is exciting. So this is the cucumber bed. Last week I told you that in the corners we have sunflowers, but look at these. Cucumbers have gotten enormous, and I'm starting to train them to go up the trellis. You can see this one over here. Let me get closer. He's got some trindles trying to come off, so when he gets a little bit longer, I mean, he's even trying to hang on to his brother. This guy here, he'll need to go up the trellising as well. In here, I had a couple of empty holes. So in here is a tangerine, I think, watermelon. I do not know what that is. And then here's another watermelon, tangerine watermelon. And another tangerine watermelon. These were given to me by my daughter-in-law, who didn't have any room for them. And one little cucamelon. I love this little bed. He's really doing great. All of them are. Here's hoping for a lot of pickle making. So I didn't show you the potatoes last week. We have 22 buckets of potatoes. Most of them are Kennebecks. I think 4 of them might be Yukon Golds, but not very many. Most of them are Kennebecks. They're getting really, really big. I'd say probably another 3 weeks or so, we might be able to dump them out. All right, in the green bean patch, last week I had mentioned that I have this little white fence that I had put up, but the rabbits were getting in anyway, so I said that I was gonna put chicken wire up around it. And so the chicken wire is up. Seems to be working, no rabbits are getting in, which is good. Down in here, there is a lot of blooms that are coming. I don't think it'll be very long, a couple of weeks maybe, and we might have some beans to pick. I didn't show you this last week either. In these tires, 2 tires, there are 2 yellow squash, 1 in each tire, and then around the yellow squash is peaches and cream corn growing, and around that whole thing I've got chicken wire because bunnies like that too. Growing great. Here's one of the rows of peppers. This is the sweet pepper side. The other side, ooh, you can hardly see the peppers for all the tomatoes. This is the hot pepper side. If you can see them, they are there. So I see my first tomato starting to blush. This is an early girl plant, so it doesn't surprise me. This tomato here, this is what happens when you have a couple of blossoms that fuse together and grow together. It's kind of a, they call it a cat face tomato, I guess. Anyway, he's not going to be useful for very much. Kind of neat though. Remember last week when I was talking about putting these bags on top of blooms that haven't blossomed yet, or blossoms that haven't bloomed yet? Anyway, and I said that once baby tomatoes start coming, that I would take the bag off, and it looks like we are there, for one of them anyway. When I take this bag off, I'll mark it with, I don't know, a bread tie or something, so that I know what tomato I need to keep an eye on and save for seeds. All right, some of these tomatoes are tall enough now that I can attach them to the trellising fence. And I just used shower hooks, 12 of them for under $1 at Walmart. I will use these for many, many years to come. I've used them for years already. This is a husky cherry red, and he's got some babies on him. And he's also got lots of blooms. Typically, cherry tomatoes would be the first to ripen amongst the tomatoes that you put in, except for that early girl that I just showed you that is ripening. This is the yellow squash that I have in the corner of the garden. He's starting to flower and bloom. So this is really exciting. This is the melon patch. That is a watermelon. There's another watermelon. The watermelon in the middle. Cantaloupe. Kajari on the outside. But look at the size of these watermelon. They are really, really starting to vine out nicely. These are sugar babies, so they won't be terribly large. They'll be like a personal size watermelon, and they are so good. Pretty, pretty. In 1 week's time on the 4-in-1 apple tree, you can see that there are a lot of apples. They're just everywhere. They look pretty good. We haven't sprayed, so I'm hoping that they'll continue to do well. Hoping for lots of apples this year.